Good morning, everybody. I'm Kristina, and this is Cassidy. We're here this morning at the Missouri Botanical Garden to show you what is in bloom this week. And right now we're in the bulb garden, and you can see there is quite a bit in bloom here. We'll start with these. And these are really tall, probably at least 6 feet, I would say. There's more all along here. And it's a beautiful day. The skies are blue. It's sunny, warm, but not too terribly hot.
There's some nice gladiolas. They're coming in. I don't know if you can see it on this one. Kind of looks like a heart.
It does. And these are all different types of lilies that we're showing right now. You can see the variety of color and shape even is really wide.
And as you can see, we are open to the public right now. Guests are wearing masks. Hello. As are we. And we would encourage you to go online and buy tickets and come out and see the garden for yourself.
It's probably a good time to mention that so far, while we've been open, our tickets have been timed. So each hour has a certain capacity. But beginning on Saturday, that's going to be a daily capacity instead. So you can buy your tickets for Saturday, and you don't have to plan on a certain hour. You can come anytime Saturday during the day. And that's beginning this Saturday, June 27th.
And there's a really cool flower over here that we'll show you. There's actually some right here. You can see this is called red hot poker. And these aren't really fully in bloom yet. And if we come around over here, you can see in this corner, big bright orange. And this is the exact same cultivar of this species. It just so happens that this little collection of it is farther along than over here, but you can see all the flowers sort of blooming downward on this. And you can see where it gets its name, red hot poker, because it does kind of look like something that you pulled right out of the fire. Oh yeah, I noticed some of these in the neighborhood too. Here's a magnolia that's in bloom.
Yeah.
Little pink blooms. I saw a few in the park as well, so that's sort of way out of season for when you expect most magnolias to be in bloom, which is more like late March.
You know, I'm not sure what variety it is, but there is one in my neighborhood that is similarly colored that bloomed in late March and is blooming now.
It's called Jane, this one. It's the hybrid name, or the cultivar name. Boy, look at this. It's not in bloom yet, but this is one of the Asiatic lilies here in the bulb garden. That's 8 foot tall.
Yeah, easily. Maybe up to 10.
And you can see oh, there's a cardinal that stopped by on the top there. And you can see, as is the case with a lot of the lilies here, we have these bamboo stakes that are used to support them and keep them upright, because otherwise they would flop over, especially once the blooms happen and
they get
those
top heavy.
make it real top heavy.
Look at the detail on this one.
And we always like to talk about the variety of what you're seeing. I mean, we were just highlighting one type of lily that's 8 foot tall, and here's this other one. This is maybe 3 feet at its peak, and the foliage here is much more dense. So they come in all colors and sizes here in the bulb garden right now as far as the lilies are concerned.
And there's more still that you can see like this that haven't quite opened up yet.
Yeah, well, and because these aren't staked, you can see how they're curved over. This one's fine. I think this is called bear's breeches. It's just kind of a neat,
Bear's breeches.
I believe so. Just hiding here in the border here in the shade.
Oh, is this more of the same here?
I believe so.
Here's more of that red hot poker that we mentioned a few minutes ago.
We're moving into the shade here in the Hosta garden, so this is another garden area that's looking really good right now. A lot of the hostas are in bloom or getting close.
Here's some right here.
Yeah, they have these really cool flower stalks. If we come over here, actually,
Sure.
see again, just like we were talking about with the lilies, just again the difference in size and shape. I mean, here's this tiny little hosta here, and then not too far beyond it, you see hostas with huge leaves.
and different leaf patterns as well. Like some are variegated, like this one.
Hey, look at the leaves on this. This is an oak leaf hydrangea.
Wow. That's huge.
Okay. Jumbo sized leaf. You can see why they call it the oak leaf hydrangea. This kind of looks a little bit like an oak leaf. Hydrangeas are another thing. Hostas, hydrangeas, lilies, and daylilies are really, this is peak for all four of those types of plants right now in their blooms.
I think that the last time we showed the central axis, I don't know that the glass onions were back in yet.
Oh, they may not have been, yeah.
But they are now, adding even more color.
And it's still a little bit early for the water lilies as far as their peak goes. They're still kind of growing into their new space out here in the pool. Although we can walk down here and show the Victorias, the big water lilies. Those have
It's been a couple weeks since we showed those. And they grow pretty fast once they start.
Oh, and you can see some of the flowers out as well.
Oh yeah.
Easily 3 foot, if not close to 4. I mean, some of those are.
Yeah, like this one.
Oh, yeah, more like 4 foot. We have 3 different kinds of Victoria water lilies in this pool. We have Victoria amazonica, Victoria cruziana, and then we have the longwood hybrid, which is a cross between the two. So all 3 of those are represented here in the pools. Cruziana are the ones with the green leaves, like this one in front of us, that have the really tall sides. And the flowers, if you can see them,
oh, okay.
Kristina's better at this than I am. But if you see the flowers, these are all actually night bloomers. So this is at the end of a night of blooming. And they bloom, I think it's over 2 or 3 nights. So they'll open the first night, they're big bright white flowers. Then they'll close, hopefully with some pollinators inside, at least when they're out in their native habitat. And then they'll open the next night and it's sort of more of a pink. And when it reopens, it releases that pollinator, who then goes to another plant and completes that pollination process. We do that all here by hand. Derek Lyle, who oversees the water lily collection, does hand pollinating of these giant water lilies. And they look big now, but they're not even close to being done. In another month or so, they'll be
huge.
They'll be huge. And if anybody has any questions for us, feel free to drop those in the comments. We'll do our best to get them answered. As we mentioned before, and as you've probably seen, we are open to the public. And everybody seems to be enjoying it, and it's a really great day for it.
Yeah, it is.
But if you have any questions about us being open or what's in bloom, drop those in the comments and we'll do our best to get an answer for you. We're coming up here to the Daylily Garden. It just looks fantastic.
Yeah, it does.
Lots of really bright colors. We don't have labels on all these like we normally do, but I'm pretty sure this is a species daylily. You can see it's much, much taller than the rest of them. I mean, this is...
Yeah, stand next to it.
This is about my height, so 5'10" or so. Most of the other ones in the collection are right around 2 feet. And many of you may know this already, but for those that don't, the reason they call them daylilies is that each of these flowers only blooms for one day. So these flowers have opened up this morning. You can see buds that are still getting ready to open, and you can see some that have had their day in the sun, their literal day in the sun, and now they're over there. So they make terrible cut flowers. I see people pick them all the time. You're gonna bring them home and that's it. By the next day, you're gonna have to throw them out. So daylilies are definitely best to be enjoyed in place.
And each plant produces so many buds, though, that the plant itself flowers for more than, quite a bit more than a day. And these are another one where the variety is just crazy. You can see the shape of this one. Sort of long, spidery petals. And then there's ones like this. Like these ruffles you see here.
And this one behind you, I think, is maybe a double daylily. You can see just the extra petals, the real density in here of all the petals.
Here's a really pretty one here. And they vary a lot in size too. Oh, look at this one. It's so fun to walk through here and just see all the variety. And I did just want to mention that if you've been enjoying these tours, right now USA Today is having a contest to name the best botanical garden in the US by popular vote. And here, Cassidy has it pulled up on his phone here.
And you can vote, I think you can vote more than once a day on multiple devices.
But you can vote every day for sure. And we've got a link to that up on our Facebook page.
And it's just that easy. I voted right now. I might be a little biased, but give us a vote, help us out.
So if you're looking for that, it is linked in a recent post on our Facebook page. And here what we're walking through now, this is the Bottlebrush buckeye, which we showed a few weeks ago, but now you can see it's actually blooming.
And this is a relative of the Ohio buckeye. That's the big famous one, but also the other yellow and red buckeyes that people may be aware of. Just more of a shrubby form for this one, and later blooming than those larger trees. Most of those have been done with their blooms for a few weeks now. And I will mention, since we're here and it looks so pretty, that we actually have members of our horticulture staff that have done some conservation work on this species, actually going out into the southeastern US where Bottlebrush buckeye is native, and collecting living material of those wild plants to try and preserve the genetics because so many of the bottlebrush buckeye that you can find in the horticulture trade or purchase at a store is clonal, and there's just not a lot of diversity in those genetics. So in addition to being this really pretty display space, we are actively working through horticulture to conserve these plants in the wild. So it's a pretty neat link between the two. Our friends Deidre and Mara,
Following the rules along with the rest of us here today.
wearing masks, staying socially distant.
I think they might be 6 feet apart.
Close. I didn't bring a tape.
And I'll just mention again now for anyone who's just now tuning in that we are changing the way that we ticket. So instead of an hourly time slot now, you can buy tickets for the day, and our capacity is going to be based off of the whole day. So starting Saturday, if you buy tickets for Saturday, you can come anytime Saturday rather than having to pick a particular hour.
And I believe our hours are expanding as well. Right now we're 9 to 4, and on Saturday we will be moving to 9 to 5. Still closed on Mondays to make sure we have everything nice and clean.
And you can see here the Kemper Center Home Gardening Center building is closed right now, but they've got this sign up here, and we'll remind you too, to remind everybody that you still can contact us anytime with your gardening or plant questions. If you're just wondering what something in your yard is that you've never known, you can send an email to plantinformation@mobot.com. gardeninghelp.org. Or you can also visit www.gardeninghelp.org, and there you'll see some more commonly asked questions.
And since we're here, we'll take you behind the scenes. Right now, the outdoor spaces at the Home Gardening Center are also closed. That's another change that will be happening on Saturday. There will be the outdoor space here at the Home Gardening Center will open up. And since we're here, we'll kind of show you a sneak peek of what you'll be able to see. This is one of my wife's favorite plants. I love this. It's called smoke tree, and it gets these cool features of the spent flowers that look a little bit like wisps of smoke coming off the top of the plant.
That is really cool. They seem like their branches don't spread very wide either, so that might be a good tree for a smaller yard.
And being able to reopen this outdoor section of the Kemper Center is just part of the ongoing efforts to make sure that we can make as much of our spaces indoor and outdoor accessible. So this is one change that's happening on Saturday, and we are actively working with the guidelines that we have from the city to be able to open up even more. So just stay tuned for updates on different places in the garden that are reopening for you to be able to come and see. And here we've got the vegetable garden. And we've got tomatoes and peppers. There's tiny little eggplants.
Oh yeah, look at that.
Little baby eggplants.
I see a big pepper over here too. Where did it go? Yeah.
Oh yeah, maybe some jalapenos here.
Or some kind of banana pepper maybe?
And maybe some bell peppers as well.
Oh yeah.
Lots of different kinds of peppers here, and tomatoes, and here's some pears on these espalier trees, which is this method of growing them where all the main branches lay flat. So this little tree is full of pears right
Yeah,
now.
there's quite a few of them. It really looks great in here right now. There's so much color. It's awesome.
And again, as we are exiting here from the outdoor gardens at the Kemper Center from Home Gardening, just to mention that this is currently closed, but will be reopening on Saturday, which is also when we will change our ticketing to go from hourly to just for the day, but it is still recommended that you reserve or purchase those tickets in advance to make sure that you guarantee entry on those specific days. And I think we're just going to kind of come up here to the lake in the Japanese garden and give a nice little send-off to our tour today. You can see a little bit more of the Bottlebrush here on the left. And maybe we'll be able to see Lotus Shore from here. I know that's another collection that should be coming into bloom here shortly in the next few weeks. Well, looks like the geese beat us to it.
You can see the Lotus Shore in the distance though, here, but it's not quite blooming yet. Thanks everyone for joining us on our tour today. We hope you'll come and visit us soon. In the meantime, enjoy this view of the Japanese Garden Lake.